Giving up. Is it time for you to be a giver-upper? We are delving into what is the energy of this season, Scorpio season. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things that I have been noticing both in conversations with people, my own dreams, and in connections with the natural world that are big themes happening. Some of them just right now, and some of them have been building for months. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. I am Rachel Stravelli, intuitive guide, radical deep dreamer, here to support you to bring more light, acceptance, and love into your life. I share videos about spirituality, manifesting with the laws of nature, and nighttime dreaming. Go ahead and click the subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up. I am not an astrologer, but I am a Scorpio and I feel the Scorpio vibes. Now, Scorpios can kind of get a bad rap because we're a little bit intense and we're a little bit, people would say, too much, over the top, all of those things. I get what they're saying because I'm intense. This season is a time of intensity. We can use the energy, the flow, and what's happening in the natural world in this season to reflect upon and make choices, actions, and modifications in our internal lives and our external lives. We can work with the energy of the season and have radical impact. Today I'm sharing with you 3 things, themes that I'm sensing both in the people that I talk to, all that's going on with the natural world, and messages coming through in my dreams. So the first one is this invitation to take a very clear and deep look at what do you need to give up. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had in the last couple weeks of people having these crossroad, come to Jesus moments of suddenly they have to make a decision. It's very clear that all of the things that they were bringing along with them, they cannot bring moving forward. It's becoming very clear that some things are going to be let go of, and some things you're going to have to say, this no longer fulfills my life. It's no longer in alignment with me. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, trees are dropping their leaves. This may seem an obvious thing, but it's the simplest things and the things that we pass every day, like trees, for example, that can have some of the greatest, deepest, most meaningful wisdom for us. Every year, deciduous trees drop their leaves. Some they drop immediately, just like you and I. There are some things that if somebody pulled me aside today and said, hey, Rachel, what is excess in your life? What do you need to drop right now? I could probably tell you 1 or 2 things. Oh, I need to declutter this. I need to return library books. I need to stop eating so many rich foods. I need to stop hanging out with that person who makes me feel bad. There are things that we come up with right away that we drop. The beauty of Scorpio and the beauty of as we go deeper into this season of fall and get ready to enter the season of winter is after you let go of the first round of things, the lowest layer, there's an invitation to go deeper. In the fall and winter, not only do the deciduous trees lose their leaves, many of them lose branches. This is a pruning away. I have a few other videos that I'll link about pruning of the season, both the winter energy and the energies of fall. I don't always like having to think about getting rid of something that I like, but we are finite humans. Our souls are infinite, but we are finite, which means I don't have the ability to have 18,000 friends and businesses, do 5 activities for my kids every week. In my mind, I think that I could see how it would happen. But if I actually pull out my planner and start putting things in my calendar, there's not enough time in the day. This invitation to let go comes up like that. For many people that I've been connecting with lately, it comes up in the area of business. It could also come up in relationships. If you're at a point with a business venture, an arm of your business or the whole business, or a certain project where it's becoming very clear that it's not bringing in the impact or the income or the connections that you're expecting, you may very well be in this moment of reflection. Do I continue bringing this with me? In my home right now, I'm inviting my children to look at the toys that they have because it's going to be the season soon where more gifts are coming into their lives. If there's something you're not playing with anymore, let's move it on so that we can make room for the new. In the new year, just a few weeks away, in 2022, you are going to be invited to have new gifts, new excitement coming into your life. I'm having to fan myself because when I feel the energy, sometimes it comes across as chills or rushes of energy. As I'm saying these words, I am feeling 2022. Oh my gosh, there's so much excitement for what is going to be offered to you, what is going to be presented to you. I feel it rushing in now. However, if you're holding on to all of the baggage, all of the stuff from the last 2 to 5 years that you've been bringing with you, it's not all moving forward. Some of it, I know, is going to be something that it's not an obvious no. It's not like I said, that first layer of leaves where if someone asks you, you could say, oh, yeah, I should get rid of that. That's an obvious no. These things, they might be 50% yes. They might be giving things to you. They might have worked for the last few years or kind of worked. They're not what you need to move forward. You have more in store for you. I know because I'm going through this myself. There's a feeling that can come up of, what if I give this thing away? What if I let go of this thing? It feels like it's part of who I am. And I put energy into this. What if I give this thing away? What if I let this thing go? What if I close the chapter on this project or this part of my business or this thing that I'm doing? I'm saying no. I'm cutting myself off. I'm stopping the flow of abundance. I know what you're experiencing because there are aspects of what I'm doing in the world that I am closing the door on. And some of them, I'm having those funny feelings of, but some of this is still good. And this is an obvious no. And it's not all for the compost pile. Yet, this calling that's coming forth from the future, this invitation, it's coming in this moment right now of this decision-making moment, which for some of us feels a little bit jarring and not so pleasant. This decision-making moment of the hard question of what to let go. For some of us, the best way to frame it is, if you get to the end of your life, was that one project that you're holding on to the thing that you know you had to get done in this lifetime? My guess is no, it's not. I know for me, the thing that I have to let go is not the thing that at the end of my life I'm going to say, I'm so glad I held on to that. There is a greater calling. There is a bigger calling. I'm feeling the energy flowing again, that you are being invited to welcome in and to walk with into the future. But you're not bringing it all with you of all of the things. There's no judgment that these things were bad choices. You made the best choices that you could for the time that you are in. But there is this calling from your soul, from your future self saying, this thing that you want, that I want, that is something that you want to be part of your life legacy. Now is the time to step into that more. Now is the time to let go of the things that are not working. Now is the time to let go of some of this extraneous stuff. Some of it might be 30% working, but if it's not a part of this life legacy that you feel yourself leaning towards and moving towards, and if you have the ability financially or capacity to let it go, then let that go. Think of this moment in time. It's not just one day. To me, it does feel like it's this Scorpio season, although not that there's a hard and a fast beginning or end. Another aspect of this is to feel and believe and know you're being given a radical choice. I use the word radical because some of what you're letting go is going to feel a radical release. When I closed down my garden coaching website a couple years ago, it felt like I was cutting out internal parts of me and releasing them. I felt emotional, but I knew that in order to have focus and dedication and energy to the new things that I was bringing forth, I needed to let those things go. I needed to prune them out of my life. You're given an invitation to be releasing of the things that aren't totally aligned with this authentic you, this soul work that you want to bring out, this legacy that you're working on. Now, I do want to clarify, I do not think this means stop everything, jump 100% into whatever your legacy soul work is and just go for it with everything. Put your house on the market. It's going to work out because I said it's going to work out. That's not what this means. And I honestly don't feel that way of doing things works for most people because it's too jarring for your nervous system. It's too much putting you in a survival mode and this desperate energy. And there's so much changing out there with the collective human experience that you might not have all the pieces right now for where this legacy work is going to go. What I am saying, though, is for those of you who know that there are things that you're putting the time and energy into that doesn't feed into this, that doesn't align with this, or you thought that it did, but it's not coming together and you're not getting any positive feedback in the ways that you can get it, then prune those away, release those, let those go, and really lean into where is the way that you can more effectively, with focus and with more of your collective energy, lean into this soul work, lean into this radical choice. For some of you, and sometimes for me too, that might mean it's an hour a day or a few hours here and there. It doesn't necessarily mean you're giving up your daytime job and going full on into this. You have to honor the capacity that you're in. Again, I'm not asking you to make a radical life choice that doesn't feel safe or secure for your daily needs. But I am encouraging you that from an energetic perspective, there is this invitation to let that manure go, put the compost in the pile, do the pruning of the branches, move them on. Let this be a time where, like the trees that just have their structure, their skeletal structure, get down to some of the bare bones and spend some more time focusing on immersing into where do you feel your legacy, your soul work being called forth? What is the energy of that? What is your dedication to that? This is the perfect time to let go of the things that don't work and to hone in and focus in on this reflection of what is working at a really deep soul level. It might not be working in the way that with our human, logical, rational, conscious minds that we see it, but it's that calling within you to go deeper, to give more to this, to find the ways to put the time and the energy into the direction that you're moving in. The next point that I want to bring up is we are all collectively co-creating this future together. I'm a big lover of the outdoors, environmentalist. As much as I spent time prior in my life keeping up with all of the things that are happening, I am not delving into the ways in which it's a doom and gloom situation. I'm not ignoring it and I'm not bypassing it, but it doesn't do anything for me to spend the time there. Where I am spending my time is leaning into the fact that we are building a future, a new future together. You and I and all these other billion people. I am keeping focused on what do I uniquely feel is my piece in this new future. Some of the things like this video is part of this piece, working with, supporting people, working with the planet, tuning into the natural world. The ways in which I take steps in faith, self-integrity, and sovereignty while honoring the connectedness of all. That is what many other people are doing as well. Yeah, there is a doom and gloom picture out there, but there's also this amazing picture of we're working together in ways that we've never worked before. We're breaking through, we're nourishing, we're supporting people and the planet in ways that we never have before. What are the ways that you get really excited, energized, lit up and happy about this new way, bringing forth a future that honors all, a future that has integrity, a future that honors life forms of all different types? Remembering that we each are a part of this symphony. We're each a part in the garden, creating this new ecosystem. You can focus on the negative things, and I'm not knocking you if you do, but I'm saying you also have the invitation to spend some time every day, if you can, focusing on what are the positive things? What do I feel is my positive thing that I'm doing in this change, in this co-creation of a wonderful new world? Those are the things that I return to, because my actions as an individual only have so much action on the leaders of the world and the fossil fuel industry and all of these things. I do believe that the things that I do have ripple effects, and all of us having ripple effects, those do create change and impact these other things. I also operate from this paradigm, and it's not just a mindset, it's a belief. So maybe it's more of a consciousness of empowerment, of co-creation. Because if I spend time being a victim, feeling that those people are in control of what's happening to the planet, they're driving us on this train to destruction. If I feel that they have all the power and you don't and I don't, that's not my belief system. They don't have all the power. It's an illusion that they have all the power. It's an illusion that they really like. It's an illusion that is very compelling to some degree, but it's still an illusion. I would be hard pressed to find a person who doesn't love nature, who doesn't think, yes, we should protect the planet more. And so it's there within all of us. If you look at the people part of it, the social justice part of it, there is a lot of conflict there as well. And at a basic level, many people, even the racist ones or the ones who are like having blinders and denial on, they want their family to be okay. So if we go back down to the root of it, there is in many people still this idea of wanting a better life for people. Now, unfortunately, some of them only want it for people who look like them. However, we don't need everyone on board with the same consciousness to create change. It's not actually going to happen that we can have everyone on board, because if you think about it, even from birth to death, there are points in your life when you don't have the same consciousness that you do right now. You may understand the periodic table right now. I don't think I can explain the periodic table to my kids. I can in a basic way. We don't all have to be on board. We don't all have to be having the same perspective. But the more of us who can believe that we come from a place of empowerment, who can believe that we are co-creating this future that we desire, the more that fuels and feeds that future, the more it deconstructs the illusion that those governments and fossil fuel industries and racist structures and things like that are the only ones with the power. It's becoming where that is an illusion that will not hold forever. It has held for a very long time, but times are different now. It is still in place, those power structures and beliefs, but I do not see that it's moving into the future with us. One of the ways in which we move into the future differently is by moving into the future with the acknowledgement of our own power, our own ability to enact and work upon our future. Sometimes that means we believe that despite what outside circumstances may show. In the unified quantum field, we're all connected. And at a certain point, these big, power-hungry structures who are making decisions will not have the support of the masses. In the meantime, as you and I make connections, make different choices, operate from the belief, this is the world I live in, where I make choices that contribute to a future that I want, a part in co-creating, those choices lead to different outcomes. That belief, that mindset, paradigm, consciousness leads to a different outcome than thinking, we're screwed, they're in control, doom and gloom, that's all there is to it. The third element of this energy and insight to share with you today relates to water. For quite a number of months now, I have noticed the element of water, specifically with the ocean, but in other forms as well. The oceans have been coming to me in my dreams in a new way, showing up as a way of interacting with me in the dream state when I'm asleep. When it first started happening, I had a lot of excitement. I started paying more attention to this feeling. I started inviting the ocean into my meditation with me. Then what I also started noticing is all over the place, other people who I'm connected to and some who I'm not connected to, all of these other people started speaking about ways in which the ocean or water has been showing up for them. Also, we have concurrently people in the US, and I'm sure in other places in the world too, working very hard to protect our water from pollution, destruction, and other negative influences. The best way that I can say it, if you choose, we are being invited to engage with the oceans of the world and the water in a new way. For most of us, it's a thing. Some of us drink it a lot, like me and my kids. Some of us drink it only because we have to. I'm supposed to drink more water. It's in our bodies. It's in all these other life forms on the planet. It's very easy because of the way things have been to just think of it as a thing, as this inert object outside of ourselves. And up until, I'm getting chills again, up until the ocean started showing up in my dreams, I definitely had more of a relationship to it of that as well. I know it's beautiful, it's powerful, and it's amazing. It takes all these different forms on the planet and the water cycle, and it moves around. But I didn't think of it like I do now until recently. Essentially, what I'm sensing is we're being asked to invite ourselves into a new relationship with water. I want you to start looking at how can you let yourself start being observant and engaging with water, less as an object and more of something that you are bringing yourself into a new relationship with. My sense is in the future, we're going to move into these ways of interacting with the planet that are more akin to ways that are, except for very few cultures around the world, that are ancient ways that are long past. And some of the ways maybe have never even come about in modern history. But we're going to less engage with these things as inert, other, both with the water and the landforms, and more start to engage with it as a being that has a presence and these amazing qualities. And we're going to start to engage with it in a different way. I know that some people listening to this are going to think, I don't even know what you're saying. This is way out there. I get it because I don't even know exactly how to put into words the things that I'm trying to say. I'm walking you through it as best as I can because it's something that I can feel it. I know it. What I will do is explain to you, here are a few practices you can do in your life to start engaging with water differently. I would love if you would share back with me after you've done it for a little while, what you notice. Because what I'm sensing is I'm not going to be able to figure out how to communicate these things in all the ways that I can if there's not a little bit of this back and forth communication with you and I. It would be great if you could tell me. First, just open yourself up to the possibility, to the question, what if I don't look at water as this other thing that I do just to fulfill the purposes of being a human being alive? What if you start engaging with a reverence for it? It goes deeper than gratitude. Gratitude is a great place to start, but this is deeper than gratitude. One of the practices that some people will do sometimes is pray over their water or have a word that they associate with their water and then they drink it. There are people who do manifesting rituals with water, but I really want you to focus on, as you're engaging with the water, either drinking or when you're bathing. Those are two great times to do it because you're going to do it on a regular basis. It's a part of your everyday life that you can start to create a new way of experiencing water when you're drinking or when you're bathing, taking more time to notice your experience with the water, being thankful for what the water does for you, and feeling a sense of reverence and honor for being able to engage with water. Also asking yourself, what would it be like to have a different relationship to water? So that's step one. If you can also then find a place, a time where a weekly basis would be great, more often if you can, great, to get to a larger body of water, a river, a lake, an ocean, and let yourself be at this body of water. Let yourself be open and receptive to what that relationship is going to bring to you. If you already have a meditation practice, let yourself go be at the water and be present to what you receive, to what you feel. If you're not used to sitting with water and just feeling what you feel, if that's like way beyond your spiritual meditation experiences and practices, then go to the water with a journal or with something that feels a little bit special, mystical. Maybe it's a crystal, maybe it's a feather, maybe it's art supplies. Go to the water and let yourself journal, let yourself doodle, let yourself light a candle or read tarot cards or spread leaves or crumpled up flower petals. You could bring flowers to the water and do it. Let yourself engage and relate to the water and start making a practice of this is another relationship that you're cultivating. Because moving forward, for those who feel called to develop this greater relationship with water, I don't know all the ways that it's going to look, but I do know that it's very exciting. That those like myself and others who are choosing to say yes to engaging with water in a relationship, in a mystical, spiritual, new way, it's becoming more and more amazing. This summer was when I started having water show up in my dreams, the ocean. And at first it just felt like internally I felt this joyous rising up of, oh my gosh, you're here. Kind of how you feel like when there's someone you love, you haven't seen them in a while, and then you see them again, that type of human, personal relationship. There was more to it than that, but that's one way to describe it. So I felt that, and I started working with that. I started inviting the ocean into my meditation spaces. In the past few weeks, that's when I felt the calling to share this with you, that it's an invitation for many of us to create a new relationship. Many people, unless you come from a traditional indigenous background or have gone really deep into some of these ancient practices, most modern day humans don't know how to have a relationship with non-human, non-pet beings, with the natural world, with plants, with flowers, with the wind, the sun, the sky, and the ocean and the mountains. It's not a fault of ours, but it's just a fact that most people don't understand how to have that relationship or have lost that connection to it. I think many of us inherently have it as children, but it's something that we haven't carried through into adulthood. I've carried it through. I spend a lot of time quietly engaging with the natural world, and it's always been this back and forth conversation with me in the natural world that I have maintained because of various events in my life that I'll go into in other videos. This having a relationship with the natural world that's not just an objectification of I'm taking from you and I get what I need and that's what it is and it's a one-way thing. The ability to have a relationship where there's a back and forth, where you come to the relationship with the ocean or with the body of water and you sit and you see what comes up. This is going to be new for very, very many of you. And you've probably also had glimpses of this in moments before, of going to the water to reflect when you had a hard moment, or there was a life decision to be made, or you were on vacation and you just stared at the waves and felt all your cares wash away. You've probably had little sprinklings of moments in your life. This invitation that you're being presented with is that you can have an even greater relationship with this body of water, with the water of the planet, and it is going to have such a wonderful, massive, huge positive effect. There's this movement of so many other people being called. And so it's also this excitement of being a part of this inherent, intuitive calling to reconnect with these elements of our beautiful planet. In the future, I will make more videos to delve deeper into this because, as I said, this is a new thing that I haven't really shared before. And hearing your experiences, if you want to get to me in the comments or email me or private message me, hearing how you're working with this invitation to connect with the ocean, large bodies of water, and water in a new way is going to help me have better awareness of how to communicate what it is that I'm trying to say that's not exactly probably part of our everyday normal conversations about water. I really invite you to do that. That would be not only helpful for me, but for everyone else moving forward too, as mutual benefit. If there's anything else that you have questions about, or comments, or if I shared something today that you're thinking, oh yeah, that is definitely true, I'd love for you to share in the comments below. You'll probably be able to connect with other people who are excited and engaged with this. I want to know what you have to say. I want to know what connected for you, what felt really true and affirming. I am wishing you a wonderful day ahead, a wonderful season ahead. Best wishes and best luck with having compassion for yourself as you're letting go of things, leaning into this acknowledgement and this consciousness that we are co-creating a beautiful future for ourselves, and we can actively be a part of that creation. And we have that power. And this invitation to engage with the waters of the world in a new way. I am so excited for all of these things for you, and I can't wait to hear from you. See you in the next video. Bye.